A long time ago, when America was just beginning in the late 1700s, people did not even have one fixed currency. Some used Spanish coins, some used British money, and honestly, it was a mess. Just imagine going to a shop and paying with whatever coin you had, and the shopkeeper saying, "Okay, that works." This kind of system could not last for long, so America decided to create its own money, and that is where the real story begins. In 1787, the very first coin was made. It was called the Fugio cent, and it was only used for a short time, around 1787 to 1788. But it carried a powerful message. On it, it said, "Mind your business," which actually meant value your time, work hard, and do not waste it. This was not just money. It was a mindset of a new nation trying to stand on its own. Then in 1792, the United States officially created its mint, and by 1793, the first real circulating coins were released. One of them was the chain cent, which was only used in 1793. But people did not like its design, so it was quickly replaced by the wreath cent, which stayed from 1793 to 1796. Around the same time, another coin was introduced that sounds unbelievable today. It was called the half cent. Introduced in 1793, it continued all the way until 1857. This coin was worth half of a cent. Imagine that. Something even smaller than the smallest coin today. Back then, life was cheaper, and even half a cent had value, especially for poor people who needed every little bit they could get. Alongside this, the flowing hair cent was used from 1793 to 1796, and in 1794, the flowing hair dollar and half dollar were introduced, which lasted until 1795. These larger coins helped people with bigger transactions as the country slowly started building its economy. Then in 1795, a new design called draped bust came into use, and it continued until 1807. It gave the coins a more refined and mature look. After that, in 1807, the capped bust design replaced it, and stayed in use until 1839, making coins more detailed and stronger. As America continued to grow, so did its currency. In 1837, the seated Liberty design was introduced, and it lasted until 1891, showing a stable and confident nation. Then in 1851, a 3-cent coin was introduced, which stayed until 1889, mainly for small, everyday transactions. In 1859, the Indian head cent came into circulation, and it lasted until 1909, representing a deeper part of American identity and history. Then in 1864, a 2-cent coin was introduced, but it only lasted until 1873, because people did not really need it anymore. In 1866, the Shield nickel was introduced, and it stayed until 1883. Then it was replaced by the Liberty Head nickel, which lasted from 1883 to 1913. Around the same period, in 1878, the famous Morgan dollar was introduced. It ran from 1878 to 1904, and then again briefly in 1921. Today, this coin is considered very valuable, and collectors pay huge amounts for it. Then came a major turning point.